Hi guys, it's Sam from Bushcraft. I'm going to talk to you today about the blades I use which I take with me when I'm doing anything generally bushcrafty. Right, let's start with my folding saw. This is generally a cheap folding saw. I got it from the market. It cost me £6 when I brought it. Can you get the whole thing in there? I know a lot of people like the Baco Laplander saw, which is a very good saw, but this one is not too bad. It's got you can see there, 5.5-inch cutting blades. It's a little short, but so I've had it for over 2 years now. It was relatively cheap and it does really well. I use it plenty of times collecting firewood, and other jobs I've actually used it on scout camps too as a tool for making camp gadgets, etc. So yeah, very good tool. Secondly is my Opinel. It's an Opinel number 9. Yeah, carbon steel. It's got a twisting top lock knife. Yeah, it's see there, Opinel carbon. It's a little tatty, this one's quite old. Holds the blade really well, a bit being carbon steel. Great knife for skinning, filleting, etc. This was my main knife for a while, but it's kind of been relegated to my secondary knife now. It has around a 3.5-inch blade, so yep, it's not too bad at all. Not very fond of this knife still, but then you kind of become really fond of knives anyway. Tools, I find, when you're doing bushcraft with things. Now, I did make myself a sheath for this knife, which is here. I made the sheath. I bought a sheath. It was relatively cheap in a fishing tackle shop. So, but I decided I wanted to make it so I could carry it around my neck. So I done I think it's like a 4-strand plait braid kind of configuration. You can find out how to do these on YouTube. There's quite a few videos about them. Which I attached it to a clip which was off an old rucksack, and then I cobra weaved that onto it. Then I've done a Turk's head knot onto the sheath to hold it in place. Works very well. At first it did slip, but so if you can see here, if I can get into that, I made a little notch in the sheath and so it fits and holds in place. Also attached the fire steel with it, which throws a brilliant spark off the carbon blade. Yeah, I just added a bit of willow to the end, tied a little bit of a lanyard in there so I can attach it to my sheath, and that's my secondary setup. And for my primary knife, I use the Bushcraft forest knife. I have made one little mod to the sheath, which is basically just add 2 bits of inner tube, so I can add the fire steel to here, where my finger is, if I need to. Also, if I've got a spare bit of rubber for wet weather fire kit. It's got the sheath. Let's start with the sheath. The sheath has a swivel belt loop, so it will move with you when it's on you. It's a general Mora plastic sheath, quite tough, hard wearing, and has the drainage hole, which, not that I've ever actually had it filled with water, but it to drain it all off, so I suppose it could be quite handy. Generally Moras are a good working tool, which is why I bought one in the end. Right, down to the knife. The Mora Bushcraft forest knife I quite like it. It's got a green ballistic handle feel to it. It's pretty comfortable. Stainless steel blade, maybe we would have preferred carbon, but I suppose there's less work for a stainless steel blade to keep it clean if you're out for a long time in the bush, etc. Yeah, it's a 3/4 tang knife, so about up to there. Yeah, the blade, it's got two different thicknesses. I don't know if you can see it. About there it bevels out, becomes thinner for finer work at the point or for skinning, etc. And it's thicker down the end. I've used this wood for splitting. Use this knife, should I say, for splitting logs, etc. Yeah, for about the width of my splitting logs, about the width of my wrist. It works fine. Very happy with the knife. That cost me, I say, about £30, which I suppose can be classed as pretty expensive for a Mora. But a very good knife. Very fond of it. I love it actually. I mean, I'm very pleased with it, and I'm glad I brought it. So they're the 3 blades that I take with me whilst I'm doing bushcraft activities. Normally, always in my bag or my person, etc. Just in case. I will probably either add a tomahawk or an axe to this setup as well. It's either that or some kind of chopping tool, but I kind of prefer in the axe style rather than a machete or a parang. But, well, I'll be looking into them anyway and deciding what I'll buy. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below. Be nice to hear what other people use. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.